This is a review of the Kensington iPad 2 case plus keyboard and a comparison with the Menotech iPad 2 case plus keyboard. At first I'll review the Kensington one and then compare it to the Menotech one. As you can see, initially the quality of the materials of the Kensington one are good. The only issue I have starting off with, well, they're not minor issues, but they're important ones here, is that the cutout for the camera does not match the camera exactly. So, I mean, you can move the iPad around, but that means that while it's in there, it can also move out of place. The other important thing is that there is no cutout for the speaker on the iPad 2. So, I mean, that could be an issue if you're listening to music or watching a movie on this. Something else to take note of is that the screen does touch the keyboard, which means that there is always a risk of the iPad 2 getting scratched by the keyboard. One other thing is that there's no latch keeping this thing closed. So while you're walking with it or holding on to it, you just got to make sure you hold on to it very tight, or else it can flip open on its own. The way that you use it is that there is a flap over here where you take that out and the iPad slides in. It rests on a couple of these grooves over here, and also there's a notch over here where it rests. As you can see, it can rest on there securely. I'm shaking it from the bottom. It's not going anywhere, but the problem, as you'll notice, is that even if you lightly touch it, it falls down. So it's some concern of mine, just because of the fact that if you're not careful how you use it, the iPad can fall down. Now, to use the keyboard, I mean, it's glued in to the case. One issue I had with that was that it just had a very strong smell of glue initially when I opened the packaging. It took about a week or so for the smell to go away, but initially that smell does get to you if you're sensitive to the smell of glue. The way to use the keyboard with the iPad is that you turn it on, press the connect button, the light will start blinking. You go into settings, go into Bluetooth, and you're going to turn on the Bluetooth. Then it's going to find the keyboard. Press on the keyboard, it'll give you a 4-digit code. You type that in, press enter. On the keyboard, it shows connected. So now the keyboard is connected to the iPad. If you go into a program like Safari, you type away on the keyboard, you can see that the letters are typing onto the iPad. So it's fairly easy to connect the keyboard to the iPad. As you can see, what they've done, the Kensington has done, is that they use this piece of the fake leather that goes around the iPad's frame, and they've left a cutout for the front camera. And so now the other way that of course you'll want to use it is in tablet mode. Again, the latch that keeps it closed, the lack of one, does become an issue because it can flip open while you're holding on to it, even in tablet mode. The other thing is that the keyboard is glued in place, so it does add a lot of weight to the product. So when you want to use it in tablet mode, it does become an issue if you want to use it for an extended period of time like this, because it does get tiring holding on to this much weight in your hand. For the Menotech iPad case plus keyboard, the way that the iPad goes in is that it snaps in place. Fairly easy to put in. And as you can see, It's very secure in there. The iPad's not going to fall out. I'm shaking it very fast and the iPad is not even moving at all. Important things to note about it are the cutouts. It does have the cutout for the rear camera and it fits it perfectly. There is no issue of the iPad camera being out of place. All the other cutouts are done nicely. They even have the cutout for the speaker and the access for the charging port is very convenient. And they also have a latch on this one so that when you're walking with it there is no issue of it just flipping open, and so you can just hold it any way you want. The way that you use it is that you would open the latch, just tuck it underneath, and then unlock the stand, and it stands up. And it's very stable. I'm tapping very hard on it, and it's not going anywhere. The other features of this is because of the snap-on case, there's nothing going around the frame, which I prefer. Just looks nicer with the iPad, and also there's nothing blocking the front camera. Another interesting feature is the fact that the keyboard does come out. So one important thing is that it lightens the weight when you don't want to use the keyboard, and you can also take this keyboard and use it with the iPhone 4. It connects the same way as to the iPad. I won't be showing how to connect the keyboard to the iPad because it works the same way as the Kensington one. This keyboard even looks exactly the same as the Kensington one, except the Kensington one has the Kensington name on it and this one has the Menotech name on it. So fairly easy to put the keyboard back in place. There's this elastic band that you lift up and the keyboard just slides in place. The important thing to note about this is that it's fairly easy to use it in tablet mode. You've got the groove over here where you can easily hold on to it, and also the keyboard can come out, so that does lighten the weight of the entire product a lot. Also there's a latch over here, so when you're using it you can not worry about it flipping open and just hold on to it easily any way you want.